Hi folks, welcome back to We the People. I'm Dave Gallus, your host, and I just happen to be running for New Mexico State Senate in District 37, which covers University Avenue, north to the limits of the county, up past Radium Springs, and is between I-25 and the Oregon Mountains. So the topic's going to be about voting information, and I'm going to try and do this with a camera on my laptop, so you'll see just what I'm doing, give you all the information you need. But I'd like to talk a little bit about the debate that I had with my opponent, Bill Soules. He's the incumbent state senator for District 37. I think it went well for my first run. I'll do better next time. I was being too nice, but that won't happen again. If you want to see the debates, you go to YouTube, and it's Center for Nonpartisan Civic Engagement. Center for Nonpartisan Civic Engagement. That's up on your screen there. Or you can go to the Las Cruces channel Facebook page and look it up there. It was very interesting. It's the only debates that I know of. Debate, forum. We have people. I had Marcy Dickerson and Shirley Baca asking questions, and Shirley was a little tough, but that's okay. It was supposed to be non-biased, but that's all right. I can handle myself. So anyway, so the debates are very interesting. They're going to be ongoing up until election time. We've had I think it's three so far. But I'd like to talk to you about voting. Now, there's two websites that you really want to remember. And the one is DCCelections.com, and I'm going to, if my studio producer can bring up the camera, you'll see, okay, it's DCCelections.com. Now this gives you so much information. I'm going to zoom in to try and give you a better understanding of what you may see. This gives you absentee voting. It gives you information about early voting and the locations and the dates. Early voting actually begins October 6th at the county building on Motel Boulevard, just south of Picacho, and that's Monday through Friday, but it is open on Saturday. Let's see, I believe it's the last Saturday before elections. It will be open on Saturday. Otherwise, it's Monday through Friday. So that's early voting starts on October 6th, which is a Tuesday. We have voting convenience centers. I'll page down here a little bit. Now, let's see, the voting convenience centers, there's 7 of them for early voting. And it's got, I think it's got 7 centers, 3 or 4 of which are in Las Cruces, and then you have them in Anthony, Hatch, Sunland Park. Okay, there you go. Okay, and there they are. So Anthony, Chaparral, Hatch, Sunland Park, and then 3 in Las Cruces. Then as we go down to the page here, election day locations, and you can see how many we have. We have 40 different locations, and 18 of them are in Las Cruces and various other locations around the county. So this is absolutely vital information. It talks about provisional voting, so you get a lot of information. Okay, you get a lot of information on all the voting information you need here. Then I want to go to another site. This other site that you're going to want to see, it's called vote411.org. Now I already have it keyed up. So now I have to, if I can get the camera back again, okay, I'll pan out a little bit, and you can see it says vote411.org, and this will give you voter registration, register to vote if you want. It'll give you check your voter registration status. Let's bring that up. Okay, here we go. Now what you do is you will pick your state. Whoa. Let me back up here. Bear with me. Well, hang in there, folks. Well, you know what? I'm going to key it in again here. And I said that's vote411, VOTE411.com. Enter. Well, I hope my audience is patient with me. All right, here we go. We're back again. All right, I'm going to want to check my voter registration. Check your voter registration. I will pick the state of New Mexico. And now it's asking me for my full name. I'll put in me. It's going to ask you your first name, last name, your date of birth. Don't laugh, I was born on 9/11. I was 50 when the Twin Towers were hit. 1951. Then it's going to say what county am I in. Of course, we're in Doñana County. Whoop, not Grant. No. Doñana County. Oh my goodness. Doñana. And I am not a robot. And I'll do a search. And remember, this is, what did I say? This is vote411.org, which brings you to the New Mexico Secretary of State's site. Okay, what's it saying here? Once you enter the required information, you will be able to view. Well, I did. Oh, boy. Okay. I said I'm not a robot. Okay, it doesn't want to give me this information, but what you'll see, oh, I see why. I use Dave Gallus, and it's David. This is good because now you understand how you can easily make a mistake and think that you've entered the information properly, which I did not. There it is. Okay. Now if you, oh boy. All right, I'm going to say, oh, you can actually go to sample ballot. I don't know if you can see that well enough, but one of the places you can go is check a sample ballot. All right, it's giving me information about my address, my location, how I'm registered. Does it say how I'm registered? Voter ID number, status active, active registrant. Surprising, folks, I'm Republican. Precinct number 64, ID required for voting no. That's because I'm in the system. Okay, let's try something else. You can even go to voting history. Let's see what that brings up. There you go. This voting history says all the times that I voted. I can look up my county clerk, but I know who that is. Sample ballot, polling location. Now, I did hit sample ballot, but it's not going to give me a sample ballot yet because they're not out yet as far as I know. Okay, let me back up here a little bit. There was a good portal that I wanted to bring up here. Okay, let me get back to New Mexico. No, I don't want that. I'm going to check the voter registration again. All right, let me get back to vote. All right, let's do this. I am going to get back and okay, I'm going back to the original screen. Now, the one thing you can do, personal voting information. See what's on your ballot? This is a very good one. See what's on your ballot because we want to know, you don't want to wait till the last minute to go into the voting booth, whether it's early voting or election day, and find out that you have 25 or 26 people you can vote on, and then you have 2 constitutional amendments that you will vote on, and then 3 bond issues. So it's really good to get this information beforehand. So let me key this in, and I'm going to submit. It asks you your address. This tells you the next election, November 3rd, okay? Okay, it says find what's on your ballot. I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring that down a little bit. Find what's on your ballot. Okay. You key in where it says Explore Now. And then it's going to ask you, what's it going to ask you? Voter's Guide. See what's on your ballot? It says Get Started. Over here. Well, we already did that. All right, let's see here. Okay, gives you a lot of resources here. Let me back down here. I want to bring that, get what's on my ballot. Okay, show my races. Enter street address. What the heck? There we go. I keyed in my street address, show my races. Go, and I am in District 4. Now, if you don't put in the right district, it's not going to come up with what you want. So I'm in District 4, and I went to Go to My Races. And I want it in English. It asked you that too. Okay. Now, let's see if you folks can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit. Now, you can see the president. In my case, I'm going to key in New Mexico Senate District 37. This gives you a bio of the different people. That handsome face on the left of your screen is me, and my opponent is on the right of the screen. That's me and Bill Souls, and you can get the bio. Actually, I didn't mention that this is actually coming from the League of Women Voters. They've asked us questions, so you can go down. One of the questions, are public schools adequately funded to provide strong learning experiences and adequate infrastructure during this pandemic? Explain. Okay, so all of us, both Bill and I have answered questions here that you can read this information and find out how each of us has answered these questions. And the League of Women Voters, I'm very pleased with them. They're fair, they ask decent questions, they don't try to nail you to the wall. We both get, I would say, unbiased questions. So, okay, so let's go to the different, now you can, all these, now there's like, I think going mine, there's 25 candidates you have to pick. So that's a lot of candidates. But then when you come down here, you have constitutional amendment. And this constitutional amendment is written in both English and Spanish. But as you can see, it's pretty, I wouldn't say that it's easy to understand. There's a lot of words to it, and I thought they were supposed to have things simplified. But this one says, I'll just read the First Amendment, proposing to amend the Constitution of New Mexico to provide that the Public Regulation Commission consists of 3 members appointed by the governor. That's a red flag right there. They want to take the vote away from the people in electing the PRC people, which I believe there's 5 now. The governor wants control of choosing who she puts in the PRC. This is as bad as what we're doing now, right, with the COVID-19. 2 years ago, our legislature gave the governor the ability to make a decision in an emergency crisis, which we are in now, or you can, some people believe we are and we're not. But the governor is now allowed to shut down the whole state because she has this power that was given to her by a legislature, a Democratic legislature, a democratically led legislature. And to me, I have to imagine that the legislators are cowards because they don't want to have to make a decision or they don't want to have to show up for a special session. So they give all this power to the governor, and what does she do? She shuts down the whole state. My opinion is, if you have people at risk of the COVID-19 or anything, flu, you take care of the people that are at risk. You don't shut down the whole state. You're destroying businesses. Anyway, we're going to take a short break. Come on back and we'll talk about how the governor has overstepped herself, but only because the legislature has given her that power. We don't want to give it to her again when it comes to this amendment. Okay, we'll be right back.
Horizon Granite is here. We'll come to you to customize your kitchen and bathroom with beautiful countertops and cabinets. Find out more at horizongranite.com. Call us at 575-650-3180.
Horizon Granite is here.
It's here.
Make yourself a beautiful home.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Hi folks, welcome back to We the People. I'm Dave Gallus. I'm running for New Mexico State Senate in District 37, and I'm going after Bill Soules. I think he's really done a poor job. I won't say exactly what I think, but a very poor job, especially in education. Our New Mexico is the worst state in the union when it comes to education, and he's been the top legislator. Come on, folks. 8 years? All right. I know I can do better than that. Anyway, so I was talking about the voting, where you can get the information. You want to go to dacelections.com, and you also want to go to vote411.org. So we're on vote411.org, and if the studio director, there he goes. Okay, I was just saying about how one of the constitutional amendments, a state constitutional amendment, wants to give the power to appoint PRC people, the PRC chair people, I guess you could say, reduce it from 5 that are elected by people to 3 that are not elected but appointed by the governor. Way too much power for the governor. That's all about the checks and balances. And my opponent is in favor of giving this power to the governor. So we don't want that. These are Democrats that are trying to take over. And I have a lot of Democratic friends. But their party has been taken over by regressive socialists. There were 2 people in the Senate that I believe it was the Senate, John Arthur Smith and Mary Kay Papin. They were decent, good people, and it would be hard to vote against them, even me as a Republican, because they're decent people. The Democratic Party took them out. They put in progressives, socialists, in their place. So I think there's going to be a lot of Democrats that are upset with them, and you're always welcome to vote Republican. So anyway, we have the one constitutional amendment. Let me get to the second constitutional amendment. Okay, and again, it's in Spanish and English, so there should be no problem. The second constitutional amendment, there we go. And this one, remember, you go to vote411.org to get this information. And you really want to read this over before you go into vote. And you want to vote in person, folks. Look, whenever a ballot, whether it's absentee, mail-in ballot, whenever it touches a pair of hands through the post office, through the sorters, at the people that pick up the mail, the people that sort the mail, the people that feed the mail. Every time it touches a pair of hands, there's a chance for corruption or just mishandling of the mail. We don't want that. You want to go in person. It's safe. Every time a person goes to vote, they clean the machine before the next person comes in, so it's sanitary. You will be given a mask if you don't have one with you. You will be given a popsicle stick inside of a Ziploc plastic bag that you can sign the voting registry with. It's very safe to go in person, and the only way you can make sure your vote counts and counts correctly is if you vote in person. We have voting convenience centers. We have early voting at the Motel Boulevard at the county building starting October 6th. The voting convenience centers, they start October 17th. You got voting day, November 3rd. There is no reason why a person should not be able to get out and vote. Okay, let me get back here. Constitutional Amendment 2. Like I said, you really want to read this stuff over. This one says, proposing to amend Article 20, Section 3 of the Constitution to permit the adjustment of law of terms of non-statewide elected officers and to standardize the date an officer begins to serve. This is very dangerous as well, because if, say you have a party that's in charge, and that party wants to set the term limit on an opposing party that's in office. They might say, well, no, we're not going to give you 4 years. We're going to change that down to a 2-year term. Or if they want their party to be advanced unfairly, they might say, well, no, we're going to change your 2-year term to a 6-year term. The whole point is they are messing with our Constitution, and you do not want to do that. Not in my opinion, anyway. All right, let's go back. So, there are the two constitutional amendments. Let's look at a bond question. There's 3 bond questions that you're going to want to be familiar with. Again, it's in Spanish and English. Okay. 2020 Capital Projects General Obligation Bond Act authorizes the issue and sale of senior citizens facility improvement, construction, and equipment acquisition bonds. Shall the state be authorized to? Let me just tell you this. Whenever you see a bond issue, it's going to be something that's going to tug at your heartstrings. It's going to be, it's going to be for the education of the kids. Well, you know what? My opponent's been throwing money at the education, and very little of it gets to the teachers and to the students where it belongs. It goes to expand the administration, and they're doing that. So guess what? When you vote, and you think that you're voting to take care of the children, you're expanding the power of the educational government. And guess what? The bond issue means, okay, yeah, sure, let's give that money to the education department. For our students, yeah, you really want to do that. But you know what happens? Whenever you vote for a bond, the tail end is you're going to pay more in taxes. So, you want to be mindful of whenever you see bond issue, there's going to be taxes tacked onto the back of it. So, and like I said, this money doesn't necessarily go to the students. I think the next bond issue, well, that's for seniors. They're going to, and believe me, seniors need to be taken care of. Our legislature is taxing our seniors in Social Security. Are you kidding me? They've already paid taxes when they, and me too. I paid taxes in Social Security. Now I got to pay taxes again? New Mexico is one of the rare states that do that. Texas doesn't do it. Texas doesn't even have a personal income tax, state income tax, and it doesn't have a corporate income tax, and it doesn't tax its seniors. I, in the legislature, will be whole hard against stopping all this taxes. Manage the money properly. You don't have to tax. Texas is a good example how to do it right. I'll be looking at them. Okay, the next bond issue is, I believe this one's about education. All right, it's Spanish and English. This is library acquisition bonds. Shall the state be authorized to issue general obligation bonds, that means taxes, in the amount not to exceed $9 million, and they give you some change too, well, it wouldn't be change to me, make capital expenditures for academic, public school, tribal, and public library. Now it sounds real sweet, but that money does not go to the schools, doesn't go to the library, it's to expand the government. And I think the last bond issue, which again, whenever you hear the word bond, thinks taxes are going up, real estate taxes. All right, the third one is Capital Projects General Obligation Bond Act authorizes issuance and sale of higher education. Tell me, folks, at the cost of a higher education, which is college, do we really need to fund the colleges? I don't think so. And this business about student loan forgiveness, why do the students expect to be given a free ride when there's people out there that might have gone to a trade school or didn't go to college, and we're all paying to subsidize the colleges? Do you think they're going to pay us back after they graduate with a PhD? I don't think so. So, more taxes to help educate the socialism that's going on in our higher education? No way. So, folks, you got to be mindful of what's going on here. And you really need to read this. So go to vote411.org and get this information, read this stuff over before you go in to vote, way before, so you really know what you're doing. And DCC Elections.com is where you want to go to find out personal information about you, your voting district. There's absentee ballot information, although I don't believe absentee ballot is a good thing to do because, like I said, every time you change hands with your ballot, it can be corrupted or it can be mishandled. And I used to work for the post office for 13 years. Not everybody's an angel in the post office. And in an absentee ballot, on the outside of your envelope, it will have a D or an R, Democrat or Republican. If you have a Democrat or a Republican that does not want to see their opponent get any ballots, or for whatever reason, they can just toss them away. And this has happened. So in-person voting is the way to go. Absolutely. Okay, one other thing I wanted to tell you about is we have, for the Christians out there, and I guess all believers in a higher power, I'm a Christian, constitutional, common sense, conservative. We are having a walk that is going to run concurrent with Franklin Graham's march in Washington, D.C. His march is going to start, I think it's 12 noon. Our march is going to start 10 a.m. But we're going to meet up at our River Jordan, I call it. It's actually the Rio Grande River at Picacho. We're going to meet there at 9 a.m. We're going to organize. We're going to start the march that'll go it's going to go west on Picacho on the north side, and it's going to march to the Grapevine Plaza at the new home of Pastor Dennis and Terry Diaz's Desert Oasis Church. So I hope you folks can make it. We're going to form up at 9 a.m. That's tomorrow. Okay, Saturday. See you next week, folks. Thanks for tuning in.